we go. Welcome in. It's another edition of the Joe Raineri Show, brought to you by WagerTalk.com, uwager.eu, and, of course, our good friends at Miami Acura. Make sure you visit them today at miamiacura.com. Now, how is your Tuesday going today? I hope that you got the whole voting thing out of the way, did your thing, did your civic duty, and all that other happy horse shit that comes along with it. Hope you got that out of the way. Hope you are not stuck in lines right now waiting to vote. Hope you took care of that. And speaking of that, and we do have to make mention of this to our South Florida peeps, by the way, because we got it going on here in Florida. Now, a lot of you who are already in states that have sports betting that is legalized, well, congratulations. You know, Nevada and certain other states around the country that it's okay. New Jersey now, where it's okay to that you can bet on sports. Well, Florida, we're not so lucky. Not yet anyway, and there is an amendment on the ballot. And for you Florida peeps, all right, Amendment 3, if you haven't gone to the ballot yet, I'm asking you, please vote no on Amendment 3. That is correct. Vote no on Amendment 3. Why? Because if it passes, it'll pretty much make it almost impossible to be able to get legalized sports betting in the state of Florida, a state that I love, very near and dear to my heart. I love South Florida. I love all the Florida peeps. But anytime you get Disney and the Seminole Indians, who are the only ones who are allowed to have any sort of gambling in this state, yeah, that's who's back behind Amendment 3. So I just asked that if you haven't gone to the polls yet, please go ahead and vote no on Amendment 3 so we can go ahead and get ourselves some damn gambling in the state of Florida, all right? We can play lotto. We can blow our ass on lotto every goddamn day of the week here, no problem. Mega Millions and Powerball, and you got no problem pissing away your paycheck playing lotto. But oh no, we don't want anything to do with sports betting. No, you don't want any of that riffraff. Oh, please, kiss my ass. So that's why we're asking those of you in the state of Florida. I believe even the Miami Dolphins this week came out with this, asking people to go ahead and pretty please vote no on Amendment 3, which would make it virtually impossible to get any sort of legalized sports betting in the state. You think the Dolphins don't see the cha-ching sign? You think the Dolphins and the NFL, who didn't they just tell us not too long ago how bad legalized gambling would be for the sport and for everything else? Now you've got NFL teams pushing to have sports betting in their state. Why? Because it pads to the bottom line. And ultimately, I don't even care about making the owners money. I just want to have my right to be able to not have to send my money offshore or to Tony the Butcher. And I love you, Tony the Butcher. Don't get me wrong here. But it would be nice to be able to go to a local sports book here, hang out on a Saturday, on a Sunday, you know, smoke a cigar, relax, be able to walk up to the window, have a burger, have a steak, be able to play my games without having to, you know, go jump through 9 million hoops to be able to do so. So Amendment 3, if those of you that follow us here and are watching in South Florida and in the whole state, please go ahead and vote no on Amendment 3. Now, that's all I'm going to say about that, because we do have some gambling and we do have some gambling advice for you, and none better than the man himself, the myth, the legend. We are talking about WagerTalk.com's Ralph Michaels is going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Why? Because Ralph's specialty, and I know what you're saying, Ralph usually joins us on Thursday, right? And he will be here on Thursday this week, of course, to talk about college football and the NFL. But I'm telling you right now, okay? I'm telling you right now, when it comes to college basketball, the man has got his... what do you call that? His shit together. The man knows exactly what he's doing. He's fantastic. You'd catch him at wagertalk.com. Okay, he's got a free college basketball guide that's available for you to download right now. Head over to wagertalk.com. Go to the Cal Sports page. Download the free guide. Okay, it is a great, I don't want to say a cheat sheet, but it is definitely a guide that you should have in your hands, in your possession, before you start betting on any of these college basketball games. He's done all the legwork for you. He's put it all together. It's an amazing guide, and it's free by heading over to wagertalk.com. That is what it is all about. Also, we got to send a big shout-out to our people here joining us Via social media, we are across every platform known to mankind. That would be Twitch. That would be Facebook Live. That would be YouTube. That would be Periscope. That would be Twitter. That would be Facebook. That would be across every known platform to mankind. We are streaming live to you right now, which means also it would be great if you subscribed and retweeted and liked and did all of those wonderful things on the pages. Tell your friends about it. This is the one place that you can definitely come to each and every day. We only bring the best on here. And if you spend enough time on Twitter and other social media platforms, everyone seems to be a sports handicapper these days. And everyone seems to have 98% winners. It's mind-blowing. But you won't find those people ever here on the Joe Raineri Show, because I will only bring you the truth, and I will only bring you the guys that I believe in, that I know, that have been doing this forever. Guys like Ralph Michaels, guys like Jersey Kid Picks. I'm only bringing the best of the best on here. So when you guys stop by, when I tell you I've got somebody that I'm bringing on, then you guys can sleep well at night knowing that I'm not bringing on just anybody. I'm bringing the best of the best here for you to help you make some money this sports betting season. And there's plenty to go on here. We're still halfway through the NFL season, college football, and now we've got college basketball getting ready to take center stage tonight. How exciting is that? So looking forward to talking to our man Ralph Michaels here in just a second. But first, we do have to send a shout out to our sponsors, and certainly more importantly, our friends at Miami Acura, who make this possible. Listen, these guys support us. We certainly hope that you'll support them. Miami Acura, for those of you in the 305, it's pretty simple. 16601 South Dixie Highway. Make sure you stop by. Take the all-new 2019 RDX for a test drive. What are you waiting for? If you are shopping for the holiday season, you go, you know what? We need a new car. Just go check it out. It's completely redesigned. The deals are unlike anything we have seen all year long. Deborah and the family at Miami Acura, they want you. They're daring you. Come on, take it for a test drive. The all-new 2019 RDX. You will thank me that you did. And I'm telling you, you're going to drive off the lot in a brand new RDX, and it's going to be the best car on the best deal that you've ever gotten. So South Dixie Highway, for those of you in the 305. Outside of the 305, it's very simple. Call them 855-564-4669. That's 855-564-4669. Well, guys, it is that time of year again. How exciting is this, right? Tuesday, and I think the college basketball hierarchy finally got it correct. They realized that Tuesday might be a good day to start the college basketball season, since outside of maybe Buffalo and the MAC playing tonight in college football, there's only a handful of NBA games. LeBron James is not in them. Everybody's focus, who's a sports fan, is going to be on 140-some-odd games today. It is college basketball season, and we've got the God, the legend, the man himself, Mr. Ralph Michaels from WagerTalk.com, joining us via the Miami Acura hotline. And Ralph, am I right? Did college basketball finally get it right? They realized, why don't we get, especially this time of year, why don't we put all eyes on our sport?
Well, you know, it just keeps getting earlier and earlier. Not only is this the earliest start ever on November 6th of the college basketball season, it's the largest slate of games ever on an opening night. 143 games. Excuse me. There's only 353 teams in all of Division I college football, 32 conferences, and we're seeing 143 of them play tonight. So it's starting with a bang.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it'll be good. It'll give folks an opportunity to be able to dive in, kind of get their first glimpse at their favorite teams. And maybe the first thing that you should do right now, if you haven't done so already, is head over to WagerTalk.com. Ralph has his free college basketball preview guide available for download. All you have to do, go to WagerTalk.com, go to the Cal Sports page, you'll see it. It's listed as a product. It's a free download. Get it. It's a hell of a place to start. And then you have that guide in front of you, and you watch some of the games tonight, and you will be that much better off than anybody else. So make sure you head over to WagerTalk.com. And Ralph, let's talk about, you talked about getting it earlier in the season. Let's talk about November, and maybe is there a system, is there a way to look at these games in November without having seen very much college basketball lately? Is there a myth or a way to go about this?
Well, there's a couple factors that it seems like I shouldn't even have to mention them here on the radio, but they hold true every year. And that is teams that have a 4 or 5 returning starters edge. I mean, in college football, we talk about teams that have 22 starters, and everyone has between 10 and 18 returning starters. Well, in college basketball, you only have 5 players on the court, yet there's a handful of teams that return 0 starters. There's about 2 or 3 times the number of 0 starters that return 5 starters. And early in the year, when you have a 5-0 starter edge, or even a 4-1, even a +3 edge, it's a significant advantage, and the lines are not adjusted to that. So, number one, take a look at the returning starters. Number 2 is simply point guards. If I have 2 evenly matched teams in my rankings, and it's in the first couple games of the year, and we have a returning point guard on one side against a new point guard for that team on the other side, again that's about a 5 or a 6 point value play for me. And lastly, quite simply, home favorites in November have been a positive. Last year, in November, college basketball home favorites were 205 and 158. That's 56.5%. Let's say 57%. The rest of the year from December on, those home favorites, 48.4%. So a significant advantage. And the reason is simply this. Everyone starts 0-0. Everyone, no matter how bad you are, has hope at the beginning of the year. Opening nights for college basketball arenas are a big deal. They give away prizes. They give away scholarships. The students are involved. You have that enthusiasm of starting a season. And you have that edge being at home. So, again, a couple of quick tools that you wouldn't think you have to mention, but clearly advantages of starter edge, point guard edge, and playing those home teams early in the year. And again, after November, there is no home court advantage as far as the spread goes against the spread. So, again, play it accordingly.
What about Ralph Michaels joining us, WagerTalk.com? College basketball season, it is tipping off tonight. We've got 18 top 25 teams getting ready to do battle. And what about those heavily bet games? When you look and you see the amount of money and the amount of bets that are coming in, usually recreational bettors, they love the top 25 teams, Ralph. And you look at these games, and sometimes because of the lack of knowledge and because they just figure it's Duke or Kentucky or North Carolina, sometimes you get those inflated lines too as well. So isn't that a good place to also look on those really heavily favored top 25 teams?
It is, because they take a while to get situated. We have a little bit of a different scenario tonight as, we have 4 of those top 10 teams matching up against each other in the Champions Classic in Indianapolis. We'll talk about those in a minute. But especially first road games. Many of these teams play a weak non-conference schedule, will have their first 4, 5, or 6 games at home. And then all of a sudden it gets to Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving. Now they're going on a neutral setting, or they're going in a hostile environment for a first time. Many of those teams are overrated because of a home court edge that they've had, weaker schedules that they've played, run-up scores against opponents that they were double-digit favorites against, and then they get a reality check going on the road. Absolute must looking to play against first road games if a team has had an extended home stay.
Let's talk about some, if we can, real quick, Ralph, some of the futures that are out there and some of the numbers that have come in. You always talk about looking for value, and the futures are great because you can bet on pretty much anything right now, including, Kentucky, what kind of seed will they be? North Carolina, Duke. And maybe one of my favorites is, who is the first coach who's going to get canned and lose his job this year. A lot of people are looking at Richard Pitino, Minnesota, or even Maryland's coach as the top two leading candidates to lose their job before the end of the year. What do you lean one way or another this year? What program and who's on the hot seat?
I don't know if I'd go that direction. I give the coaches the benefit of the doubt to see if they're going to do something. I am certainly not under the guise that it's going to be Pitino. I like what Pitino's done. Nobody has had more injuries than he's had the last few years. He's also already got two guys banged up for tonight's game, and they're a double-digit favorite. I still almost used him on my card because I like him. I think Pitino has the Minnesota team going in the right direction. Yes, they've underachieved, but if the program knows what they're doing from the AD down, and he knows that with the amount of injuries that he's had, this would have been an NCAA tournament each of the first 2 years. Clearly, for Pitino, I don't think he would be there. Maryland, who knows? You have the entire athletic department's in a shakeup after the football program, and that chaos, and that many times can carry over to a basketball program as well. But as far as picking a coach that's going to be out first, again, I give them the benefit of the doubt to start the season fresh, and I don't make those kind of picks. A couple long shots that I had moving forward that I think were not top 20 teams that I think can win their conference or are very good odds to even win their conference. Marquette and Indiana are two teams I have circled. In fact, I bet them to win the NCAA tournament. Not that I think they're going to get there, but if you have a team like Marquette and Indiana and you're getting very nice odds, almost 100-1 to win the NCAA tournament, well, when they get to the if they make it to the Sweet 16 round, you can clearly hedge your money back on betting the opposite side. So sometimes you're betting futures not because you think they'll actually win it, but because they'll impress, they'll overachieve, they'll get to a point where you're in a great spot to hedge the other team and make money either way.
We had some listeners actually chime in with a couple of things. We've got a lot of St. John's fans here in South Florida, a lot of New York connection there. What do you think of the job Chris Mullin has done at St. John's, and are they a team that should be at least looked at as a contender this year?
St. John's, you look at them last year, and to me, they disappointed last year. They had a good recruiting class. They had 4 returning starters coming in to Mullin's third season last year, and yet they only went 4-14 in conference play, 16-7 on the year. They got outscored on the season. They got out-rebounded by almost 9 rebounds per game. Now he's in his 4th year. He has 3 returning starters, has a decent-sized recruiting class. I have him finishing about 5th or 6th in the conference. Better than last year, have a winning record, yes, but not the tournament level.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, the first thing that you need to do if you're just joining us, he is Ralph Michaels, wagertalk.com. Available right now at wagertalk.com is his free college basketball guide. This is where you start. This is what you download as you get ready for college basketball. It is kind of a must-have because it'll help you get started to betting on college basketball, and it's free. Just go to wagertalk.com, go to the Cal Sports page. It's a product. It's free. Download it. Have it with you before you head to, I don't know, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, for instance, tonight, Ralph, as we've got 4 top 10 teams led by, I believe, 4 Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame coaches that have a combined 8 NCAA tournament championships. You've got Duke, you've got Kentucky, you've got Kansas, you've got Michigan State. I mean, it is the who's who of college basketball all in one roof, under one roof here tonight. Let's start off looking at Kansas versus Michigan State. Number 1, number 10 preseason. What do you like?
Well, you look at Kansas and what a job he's done there. And their RPI ranks the last 5 years at the end of the season. Kansas has been 4, 5, 1, 4, and 3. Now, if you look and you say, well, they only have 2 starters back, you've got one of the best frosh classes there are. And you add in the Memphis transfers, Derek and KJ Lawson, and to tell you what they think of Derek Derek Lawson, by self, is considered to be the Big 12 Player of the Year. He thinks he's that good that he could come in and be the Big 12 Player of the Year. So when you have two transfers in like that have experience and can lead your team, it's going to be a big step. Obviously, Michigan State for me tonight, I think they're going to struggle. You know, you lose two players to the top 8 picks in the draft, and that was their scoring. It was their leading scorer, and I believe their third leading scorer in Bridges and Jackson. Michigan State's going to have a little tougher time filling in the offensive portion. And then when you look at Michigan State, their defense is very difficult to learn, and it takes a while for players to gel. So I think Michigan State might struggle here, but it's no big deal. You know, their entire goal, this is not college football. This is not the NFL. A loss doesn't kill you. In fact, a loss does nothing against you. If they're 25-7 or if they're 26-6, they're going to have the same seeding when it gets to be March Madness. Their goal is to win the Big Ten and move forward. So a lot of these coaches, if they fall behind early, it just may mean they're trying different rotations. They want to see how players fit in. In this situation, Kansas is not one of my top plays, but if I had to pick a side in this, I think Kansas minus the points would be my pick.
Kansas laying 5, as a matter of fact, the latest line on that game. And then, of course, we've got the powerhouses, number 2, Kentucky, number 4, Duke. Ralph, what do you like? What do you hate about this matchup?
Well, you know, you look and there were 60 players drafted in the NBA draft, 30 in each of the 2 rounds. 8 players came from these 2 teams. 4 each came from Kentucky and Duke. Now, Duke also lost their other starters. So Duke is with 5 new starters. Is the cupboard bare? By no means. They have the best ever college basketball recruiting class with R.J. Barrett, who probably is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Zion Williamson is another player who could be a top 2, 3, or 4 pick in the draft. Those 2 freshmen are going to lead this team. But Coach K likes playing man-to-man. It's tough to get freshmen to play man-to-man defense against this Kentucky squad. Now, Kentucky only returns 2 starters, but that's a lot when you're comparing it to 0. And the Wildcats add who I think will be the most impactful transfer in all of college basketball this year, Reed Travis. Reed Travis is a graduate transfer from Stanford. He averaged 20 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, and he'll be the difference for this Kentucky team moving forward and for this Kentucky team tonight. I also lean with the over again. Teams struggle to play defense with these new high-recruited freshmen. So Kentucky is the stronger of my 2 leans, but I do lean Kentucky and the over.
All right. I mean, it's going to be one hell of a night for college basketball. That is for sure. He is Ralph Michaels, WagerTalk.com. You still have time to head to WagerTalk.com. Go ahead, download the free college basketball guide. Just look for Ralph's page there, Cal Sports. And we talked about this team last week, Ralph, and Nevada. Nevada is, some people say, will lead the nation in wins. They've got a chance to play, 34 games before Selection Sunday. A lot of people feel they have a good chance at taking home the most amount of wins this year. What do you like about Nevada going into this game?
First, I have to correct you.
Oh,
I was born and raised in Cleveland and just moved to, it's my 2nd year here and now in Las Vegas. And it's Nevada. You cannot say Nevada or else I have to hang up. So I've been scolded numerous times that it is officially Nevada, and don't ever say otherwise.
Nevada. You got it. Nevada. What do you like about Nevada?
You know, this is a team that could have been a middle-of-the-road conference team, but what was the difference? Well, they had 3 players returning this year. It was the Martin brothers and Jordan Carolina. Well, all 3 of those players decided not to go into the draft. So you have 3 players back for a Nevada team that under Musselman in his 2nd year made the Sweet 16. Well, with those 3 players back, it got him to sign a top 10 recruit in the entire country. 6'11" Jordan Brown turned down new offers to every major school in the country to play at Nevada, and then they got 6'11" Trey Porter to come in, a transfer from Old Dominion. So you have 3 players potential in the NBA draft. You had a 5-star who could very well be an NBA player, and a 6'11" center, and boom, you return. Now the problem is this: we know the lines are come out of Reno, the lines come out of Vegas, and we all know Nevada gets a lot of publicity around here. Well, I happen to think they might be a little overrated. Ooh. They're in the AP top 10. Blue Ribbon has them as one of the best teams, and they will be one of the best teams. But, again, it takes a while to learn to play to that level. When you played at Duke, when you play at Kansas, when you play at Kentucky, you are just used to always being the favorite and having a bullseye on your back. Well, that's not the case for this Wolfpack team, and these players aren't used to it. Now you're going to get everyone's best shot. And this BYU team returned 7 of its top 8 scorers. They did lose their leading scorer, Elijah Bryant, who left to try to go in the draft, didn't get drafted. He's playing basketball over in Israel, so he was a talent. But they get Nick Emery back, who 2 years ago averaged 13 points per game and took a personal year last year, sat out, and decided to return. So now you have basically your top 10 scorers back. This BYU team is talented. I think they're going to finish ahead of St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference, just behind Gonzaga. They know how to play these type of games. Altitude doesn't affect them coming from Utah compared to Nevada. And I think this game might be closer than some people expect. And again, I'm looking to fade Nevada early if they continue to be a bigger favorite than I expect.
Big number in this game, too. We're looking, Ralph, we're looking at plus 13 for BYU in this game tonight, and you're looking to fade Nevada in this spot.
You just said Nevada again. I'm going to have to scold you one more time, and then we'll be done. I am. And again, this isn't a top play, but Nevada is a team that people are going to be talking about all year. So I just wanted to put my thoughts on record of what I think of moving forward. They are good enough to be an Elite 8 team and get there. I mean, yes, having the Sweet 16 experience one year is incredible moving forward. They very well can challenge Gonzaga to be the number 1 seed in the West. It's sad to say for the Pac-12 basketball where, we're talking about Nevada and Gonzaga as the number 1 seed in the West, and no Pac-12 team, even in my mind, is close to beating those 2 teams talent-wise.
Nevada. Am I correct? Nevada?
Nevada.
There we go. Perfect.
N-A-V, A-D-D.
Nevada. I love it. Nevada. Ralph Michaels, WagerTalk.com. We had actually we gotten a few questions during the week, Ralph, once folks knew that you were going to be coming on here to talk a little college basketball today. And there is this big thing here in the South, and you notice, I don't have to tell you, there's this big ACC versus SEC battle that continues to go on. And, man, there's a lot of SEC fans here in Miami, in the South, who just think that they have caught the ACC and that conference when it comes to basketball. Is the SEC right now, would you, as a whole, a better conference than the ACC, or are they close but just not there yet, in your opinion?
I actually do think they are.
Wow.
You have, Kentucky and Duke cancel each other out.
Yes.
And then to me, Tennessee and Virginia cancel each other out. But then you have Auburn and Mississippi State. I have them both ahead of North Carolina this year. And then you have the Clemson, but then I also have Florida in there as well. So as far as the top goes, I do think the SEC is better basketball. Again, I have Florida higher than most. I have Florida in my top 15. You add that to, Mississippi State, Auburn. I have 5 teams in my top 18 from the SEC. And, not looking at every team all the way down, ACC is a little deeper in the middle, but I would have to give the SEC the edge because of those top teams, because of who I think would have higher seedings at the end of the year. And it has taken a couple years for them to get their reputation. You know, a few years ago, it was nobody. It was Kentucky, and Kentucky would win, and there wasn't another team that was going to be a top 3 or 4 seed in the tournament. That certainly has changed. They have the reputation now. They're going to get more credit playing some of those tough division games, conference games on the road, and I think I would rate them ahead right now.
Wow, you're making a lot of SEC fans very happy here in South Florida. That is for sure. Ralph Michaels, WagerTalk.com. All right, Ralph, talk to us about a couple of the other games on the schedule tonight, some games you're leaning, some games you like.
Well, you know, one situational play, this game was very close to being one of my top plays, and just to mention, I happen to be the $2 capper today at Wager Talk, and what does that mean? It means if you go to Wager Talk, you get all 4 of my basketball plays right now. I may add another one. You have all 4 of my plays for $2. If you ever want to try out a day at Cal Sports, today's to do it, the opening day. But one of the games that was very close to being a play for me was Virginia. Now, Virginia has spent the entire offseason thinking about how they were the first number 1 seed ever to lose to a number 16 seed in Maryland, Baltimore County. You also have Towson, a team they're playing tonight that is very low. They only have 1 returning starter. But Towson's been popping off on Twitter talking about how we beat Maryland, Baltimore County last year, and Virginia, you lost to them, so we are going to be competitive with you tonight. And then Maryland, Baltimore County a few days ago puts up a banner in their arena, which Virginia caught wind of, talking about a number 1 seed, the first number 1 seed ever to lose to a 16 seed. So with Virginia, you have 4 returning starters. Their pack line defense is probably the best in the country. They're not my number 1 team to start the year. That doesn't mean I think they'll be the number 1 team at the end of the year. That means right now with 4 returning starters and an Alabama transfer, Brandon Key, who got a hardship to be able to play this season, makes them ready to go. Towson, very, very light. Again, 1 returning starter, no point guard experience. I think Virginia just takes it to the woodshed to this team tonight and takes frustration out from that embarrassing March performance.
Well, let's look at the numbers right now. Towson, 25.5 is what they'll be getting. I happen to like, I'm looking at the under here, Ralph, and I'm thinking Virginia shuts them down to the point where they're in the 40s, maybe low 50s. The under is 131 in this game. I wouldn't be afraid throwing a little action on the under either, thinking Virginia's just going to clamp down and make it impossible for Towson to score.
You know what, and that's a great point, because many times the public is accustomed to having totals from 130 to maybe 170. And Vegas often doesn't get outside those parameters because they don't need to. You have to remember, when you're making a line on this game, and especially a total, Vegas's job isn't to make the total what it should be. Vegas's job is to make the total where they're getting equal money on both sides. Last year, my customers were treated to a ton of success using UCF, Virginia, Cincinnati games. I had a total as low as 109 last year, and I played the under. People don't think ever that a total can go that low, but when you have these historically good defensive teams playing a team that can't score, it should be much lower. But again, that's not Vegas's job. People tend to play the over in these low numbers, thinking that's the situation, but there's actually value to the under. I have no problems with that underplay. I completely agree with that assessment. And again, it's, you go back and look at what Virginia did when they're at home. usually a defense needs a few games to get going, but when you have most of your starters back and most of your entire top 8 players, you don't need that much time to get it going.
Let me ask you this. Ralph Michaels joining us, WagerTalk.com. Free basketball guide available on his page at WagerTalk.com. It is a preview guide. It is something that you should download immediately, have it in your hands as you watch some of these games tonight, and also take advantage. Ralph is the $2 capper today on WagerTalk.com. Go get his picks. No better place to start and get to know Ralph Michaels by heading to WagerTalk.com. Take advantage of the special right now. Ralph, what are the chances? And I can't believe, I think somebody told me the other day that 2000, I think, was the last time a Big Ten team actually took home the championship. And it's been even longer for the Pac-12. You know, the Pac-12's got some quality players, quality coaches. Why is the Pac-12 never in it at the very end? Do you have a theory behind it, or could this be the year that a Pac-12 team actually emerges and we could be looking at them in a Final Four, if not, you know, the finals themselves?
Defense.
Wow.
You know, it's the same reason that you have these teams, then no one plays shutdown defense. Yes, the offenses are good. We had UCLA scoring all those points with ball. You know, we've had the Arizona teams. We have the Oregon team. And, you know, I think Oregon is the best team in the conference, and then followed by UCLA and Washington. But when you get down to the end of it, it's just they don't play defense well enough to be matched up against these teams from the East that do. They're bigger, they're more physical, and, you know, it's almost like comparing the Big 12 in football to the SEC in football. The Big 12 looks good against each other. They pass the ball around. They score 50 points. You put them up against an Alabama, an LSU, a Georgia defense, and all of a sudden, you know, you're not going to be able to withstand. If you do score, you're also giving up a lot of yards. You know, see Oklahoma, Georgia last year. You know, the Big Ten is a little more surprising to me. I thought Purdue had a great team last year, but, you know, and again, Michigan State is my pick this year. He's missing two. You know, it's going to be a building road for Michigan State because you are because you're building after losing two lottery picks in the draft, but also, you know, both of those schools, you know, you're looking at education and you're looking at those programs, and they don't welcome in the one and dones. You know, Duke has built themselves on the one and dones. Kentucky has built themselves on the one and dones. And those are the only two programs that can withstand the one and dones and be able to eat up those scholarships that they lose when they have those one and dones. But you know, you're not getting the elite players. You're not getting some of the top 10 players in the league. And you know what a statement does it make that here you have this Pac-12 out here, and the player from California, the top recruit from the West, ends up going to Nevada. So, you know, it just shows you that the Pac-12 doesn't have that grip. So, you know, I don't think Michigan State will be good enough, and I clearly don't think Oregon's going to be good enough to even get to the Elite Eight again this year. So we're going to have an SEC, ACC, and, you know, even Villanova's down. It's going to be dominated by, you know, the two Southern basketball conferences this year.
Yeah, the Big East lost a ton of seniors last year, great seniors too, so they've got a whole new crop. Not so much the one and dones in the Big East in the past, Ralph, so they usually have kids that stay there, but they graduated an awful lot of quality players last year, so it might be a little down year for the Big East. And I've got to ask you, man, we got a civil war going on here also tonight in Florida. Florida State taking on Florida. I cannot believe it. The Gators taking on the Seminoles. Seminoles number 17 in the country. I know you were high on Florida last week. You kind of think they maybe have been a little bit forgotten here. What do you think about this game tonight here for those that'll be rooting here in South Florida?
Well, you know, the interesting thing is this, that last year Florida and Florida State returned only 1 and 2 starters. The Seminoles only returned 1 starter off that Sweet 16 team. Florida returned 2 starters, but both Hamilton and White, the head coaches of Florida State and Florida respectively, did a nice job getting them to 23-12 and 21-13, both playing top 40 schedules. This year, more experienced. Both returned 3 starters. Florida has a top 20 recruiting class. Florida State in the ACC struggles to recruit at that same level. Their recruiting class is above 100, so significant edge to Florida in that game. I made this line, I made Florida a 2-point favorite in this line. They're a dog, and it was close to being one of my plays. This is another game I really liked, but wasn't quite strong enough to be there at the end, just because, again, it's the first game of the year. You're not sure. You think your players are going to be better. You think they're going to gel better. You know what they did in their exhibition games, but when they're that close, it's not enough for me to pull the trigger and make them one of my star-rated plays.
Yep, +4 right now. Florida is the line on that game. All right, Ralph Michaels, what is the one? I mean, you got a lot to look at here tonight, but is there one game on the slate that you're going, I gotta watch this. I'm gonna spend some time watching this game because it's that intriguing. What intrigues you the most? Which game tonight?
Well, as far as intriguing to me is the Nevada game. But, what I want to share to our listeners is what I consider my top play of the day.
Ooh.
This is, if you do go to Wager Talk and you do spend the $2, this is one of the 4 plays you're going to get. And again, it is my top play. And it's game number 724, Ball State, -7 to Indiana State. Ball State last year had one of the most difficult and horrendous starts to the season. They had a player take his own life, then they had 2 players kicked off the team, and they were left, the cupboard was bare, yet they rebounded. They ended up going down and winning 7 of their 8 games late in the year against MAC opponents, and MAC is a solid, MAC is a solid conference. James Whitford's doing a great job. He's in his 6th year now. Well, now you have 4 starters back from a team that went 19-13. You add in a pair of SEC transfers who were here last year and practiced that entire period of time. It's a big difference to me. If you have a transfer that sat out a year, that practiced with the team and learned the system, then you do a transfer who came in and is eligible immediately. Well, these 2 SEC transfers were called the top 2 players on the team just in their practice. They couldn't play games. So now you have an Indiana State team that only won 13 games last year. They only returned 1 starter, and Indiana State's looking forward to mid-December. Why? Well, their 2 best players are both transfers, but both of those players are not eligible to December 16th. So they know they're going to get better. They're just trying to bide their time. I think Ball State is a team that is hungry to get off to a fast start, significant starter's edge, point guard edge against a team that knows their 2 best players will both become eligible December 16th. We'll talk about this later in the year, but remember in basketball, the semester ends mid-season, so a lot of teams get a lot of valuable players back when their semester ends in again, the middle of the final month of the year.
So you like Ball State -7 in this game here. You like Ball State tonight.
Ball State, again, is my top play of the day, and one of the 4 plays people will get if they take advantage of me being the $2 capper at wagertalk.com.
They got to get the wager. You heard him say it right there. And if I don't say Nevada correctly again, he's going to jump through the phone and the microphones and just rip my face off. I know he is, on behalf of everybody in Nevada. Correct, Nevada?
I just say that because a couple of my handicapping partners that have lived out here forever, I mean, they would ride me harder than I rode you. So after a while, even a dumb person like me can get that thought into their head.
Listen, I don't want the Prez. I don't want any of them being all mad at me. So I promise I will learn. I will get the proper pronunciation out of Nevada before it is all said and done. Get to wagertalk.com. Take advantage of the $2. He's the $2 handicapper today, which means you're going to get his 4 best plays college basketball tonight for $2. Also, download the free college basketball preview guide, which is a great tool for you to have moving forward. You got 140 some odd games getting ready to kick off tonight. You've got 18, I believe, top 25 games. There's so much going on. Take advantage of it right now. Head over to wagertalk.com. And Ralph, before I let you go here, how shocked were you with last night's football game? Now, Ralph, for those of you who don't know, he joins us on Thursdays, and we do our football talk, and we break down some of the games heading into the weekend, college and NFL. But I got to tell you, did you see Dallas being able to come out and score some points with Amari Cooper, or did you get exactly what you thought last night?
Well, I actually played against Dallas, and I just thought they shouldn't be a home favorite. They have one of the smallest home edges in all of football if you look at what they've done at home, and they're just not a good team. In fact, I tweeted out a stat that Dallas Cowboys were 1-16 as a home favorite after losing a game and not covering. Well, they went to Washington the week before. They were a home favorite this week. They were 1-16 against the spread going in. Well, guess what? Now they're 1-17 in that situation. You know, Jason Garrett looks lost on there. I'm sure he's going to be let go pretty soon. He should be. Ezekiel Elliott, you know, not even part of the offense, and just I'm baffled at with the talent they have, as bad as they are offensively. So until they turn it around, again, as a home favorite, I'm usually going to fade them every time.
Yeah, no, it was good to see that we finally have a healthy Marcus Mariota. It looks like he's much healthier now, so this should be an interesting team moving forward. But join us Thursday here. Ralph Michaels joins us. We go over the college and the NFL slate of games, but you got plenty going on right now tonight, college basketball. Head over to wagertalk.com. Take advantage. He's the $2 handicapper today. Get his 4 best plays tonight and get that college basketball preview guide. Ralph, always a pleasure, man. I know you're going to be glued to multiple TVs tonight. Enjoy the games. We'll talk to you again on Thursday. Thanks for taking a few minutes out and hanging out with us, my friend.
Joe, my friend, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. You got it. Ralph Michaels, wagertalk.com. He is your $2 handicapper of the day. I can't even believe I'm saying that with a straight face, that he is the $2 handicapper of the day, but that's exactly what he is. So welcome in, guys. For those of you that are just joining us, I do need to apologize due to the fact that I believe the engineer, we had a little bit of sound difficulty, was it? We had some sound difficulty in the beginning of the show today due to the fact that I guess the guy that handles the sound is stuck at a voting center somewhere. Is that where he is? He's been online for the last 2.5 hours, I guess, trying to vote. So he hasn't had a chance to be able to get back to the studios here. So we had a bunch of people hitting a bunch of buttons and trying to be able to get the sound corrected. So we do apologize. I understand that we did get it corrected roughly about maybe 5 minutes in. So sorry about the crumbled, the double talk that you heard there in the very beginning of the broadcast. However, you didn't miss any of Ralph's stuff. If you did, don't worry about it. You can fast forward to there. Just about 5 or 6 minutes in is when we rectified the sound. But I do want to apologize to you, those of you that were tuning in and you heard that. You probably thought, "Oh man, am I high? Like, what's going on? I'm not sure what's happening." It wasn't you. It was us. Unfortunately, our engineer is still at the voting booth trying to get through due to the fact that he's a mess, I guess. I guess he's been there for the last 2.5 hours and hasn't been able to get by. But we want to thank him very much for taking his and doing his civic duty. Also want to thank you guys. And in the beginning of the show, we also told you that we've got a pretty special cause going on here in Florida. Now, those of you that are in states that have legalized sports betting, let me tell you a little bit of what's going on there. New Jersey, Nevada, New Mexico. There's a whole bunch of states that now have the opportunity to be able to go to a sports book and be able to hang out and relax and play the games as well you should without having to open up offshore accounts and all the other aggravation. And we would love that, nothing more than that here in Florida. The problem is we've got Disney here in Florida. And we've got the Seminole Indian tribe here in Florida. Now, the Seminole Indian tribe are the only people that have the opportunity. They're the only ones with gambling. They ended up cutting a deal years ago with the governor, Charlie Crist, at the time. And they made it so they would be the only ones really to operate casinos. And they offered, billions of dollars, which we were piss broke in Florida at the time. So Charlie Crist ran all over it. He was good to go with it. And that is what we've had to deal with. Now, the problem is that we want sports betting to be legalized here, but the Seminoles don't, and neither does Disney. Yes, that's right. Even though Mickey Mouse took Alabama and 14 points against LSU over the weekend, Disney doesn't want any gambling here in the state of Florida. And the Seminoles only want to control everything. So they have this, this convoluted amendment that's on there, Amendment 3, that would make it virtually impossible to ever get legalized sports betting passed in the state of Florida without jumping through 9 million hoops. Ultimately, it would kill Florida's ability to be able to get legalized sports betting. So for those of my peeps that are here in South Florida, in the Florida area, that you are watching this, or maybe you're in line right now trying to kill some time hanging out with us, and we appreciate it, much like my engineer who left us hanging out to dry here. We ask that you vote no on Amendment 3. Now, the interesting part about this, and welcome Sparky, Sparky joining us via one of the multiple streaming partners we have, Facebook, I believe. He's joining us. Well, good to see you, Sparky. We ask that you vote no on 3. The funny part about this is that the Miami Dolphins actually did a social media push yesterday on this. Now, isn't it funny, too, how the NFL, wasn't the NFL the one telling us how sports betting would be the end of it? Like the end of it would, it would be Armageddon. Although these were the same people that also told us that if you ever legalize marijuana, that the end of the world would happen, and neither of those things have taken place. But it was so funny how against any sort of fantasy football and DraftKings and FanDuel, how the NFL was so against it. And now you have NFL teams that are pushing and begging and pleading, please give us the right to have legalized sports betting in our cities, because why? They will make a shit ton of money. I don't know how else to put it. Can I say shit? Well, I did anyway. They will make a shit ton of money. And now even the Dolphins, as piss poor a team as that is, they even understand the amount of money that is at stake here with the sports betting, the possibility of having sports betting in the state of Florida. So if you haven't voted yet and you are in Florida, please go ahead, vote no on Amendment 3. Also vote no on Amendment 13. If you want to laugh, Amendment 13, they're trying to outlaw dog racing, if you can believe that, Greyhound racing. Yeah, they and again, the same group is behind Amendment 13, the Mickey Mouse and the Seminole Indian tribe, also against dog racing because they don't have a piece in it, and Disney wants to have this pure family atmosphere here in the state of Florida, and they feel that, somehow or another sports betting is going to ruin that image. But yet you can piss away your entire paycheck on Powerball that is, 1 in 330 million to 1 to win. You'll never win that, but you can piss away your your paycheck on Powerball and Mega Money. That'll never ever happen. But they don't want you to have dog racing, and they certainly don't want you to be able to go bet on sports. And the most asinine part of all of this is that we already bet on sports here in the state of Florida. Many millions of us in the state of Florida bet on sports. The problem is we send the money offshore, or we have friends in Nevada or now in New Jersey that make the bets for us. And nothing against, Uncle Nunzio the Butcher, who I love for years, that was taking the action. But it would be nice to have legalized sports betting here where we could go to a sports book and kick back and have a burger or a steak and a drink and walk to the window and place our bets and be able to hang out and, laugh and have a good time without having to worry about going offshore. And thank goodness, and we love our partners, by the way, at uwager.eu. It is where America bets, because places like Florida have their heads up their ass. So we do want to thank UWager as well for sponsoring. But it's like it would be really nice to be able to have that opportunity to do it. And it would also create a boatload of jobs in the state. So if you haven't, and I'm begging, I don't want to beat on this, but please, if you haven't gone to the booth yet, vote no on Amendment 3 and vote no on Amendment 13. And I love you, Mickey, but you can kiss my ass, okay, man? I'm not interested in, you only go to your place once or twice, and that's it, and I'm not interested. But the idea that, we can piss away our money on Powerball and you're okay with that, but you don't want us to bet on the Miami Dolphins. First of all, who the hell is going to bet on the Dolphins? Everyone's betting against the Dolphins, so let's be realistic there. But the idea that, there's only certain types of betting that will be allowed, yeah, right. And I get the Seminoles. I know they want to have a monopoly on the gaming industry here. Well, you can kiss my ass too. Never win at your places anyway. God damn. All right, so if you missed it, if you're just joining us, first of all, happy Tuesday. And tonight there's a little football action going on, MAC action tonight. Buffalo somehow or another gets to be the game of the week. Buffalo taking on, who are they taking on? Kent State, I think it's, what's the spread up to? 22 now, I think, is where we are here tonight. Kent State, 22. Let me double check. Let me head over to our good friends at uwager.eu. And by the way, on my Twitter page, for those of you, you've got the link there. You got a 50% bonus sign up if you too are waiting for your state to legalize sports betting and you need a place to go. Then by all means, head over to uwager.eu. We love those guys. Kent State, yes. Listen, this line was at 22. All right, 22 and a half as of 9 o'clock this morning. It is now, there must be a bunch of steam rolling going on, a bunch of steam action happening here. Buffalo's minus 17. So you got a 5-point swing here since about 9 o'clock this morning. You must see an awful lot of action coming in on Kent State here. So minus 17. Over-under was at 43. It's now been pushed up to 44 and a half. So that is what you're looking at tonight in the football game. I happen to like Buffalo first half. I think over 23. I do think they're going to dominate Kent State, and I do think they're going to score a shit ton of points in the first half and then maybe take their foot off the pedal. But I do like them to have at least maybe 24, 28, maybe even 31 points in the half. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Buffalo tonight, that being Kent State. So I do like the over in the first half at 23. And then you heard Ralph here tonight, a bunch of great college basketball games. I mean, does it get any better? You got Duke and Kentucky getting ready to do battle. You got Kansas, Michigan State. You got the Blue Bloods. You've got, I believe, what did we say it was? 13. You got 13 top 25 teams in action tonight, and Ralph gave you some great ones. And also, if you didn't see it, and by the way, the great thing about the live streaming aspect of it is that this is available to you. As soon as we're done here, you can rewind it and check out what Ralph's play of the game. But do keep in mind that Ralph is the $2 handicapper of the day at wagertalk.com. So if you haven't done so, get over to wagertalk.com. Take advantage of it for $2. Ralph's going to give you his 4 plays of the night. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? He also has his free college basketball guide available to download. This is a great it's like the daily racing form of college basketball. He's put together all the data, he's condensed it, and he gives you an opportunity to have some sort of working knowledge when you start breaking down and looking into the college basketball season. It's a great place to start. It's free. You got to get to wagertalk.com, download it, okay, and then take advantage. For $2, I mean, even your cheap ass over there, Sparky's got $2. I mean, come on. Let's go. Who else we got in there? 8-Ball, Marvin, Paul, let's see, Frankie, Johnny. I know your cheap asses all got $2, all right? What are you doing? Get to wagertalk.com, and for $2, Ralph already gave you a few of the ones that he's looking at here on the show today. What are you waiting for? Go get his picks. More importantly, go get the reasoning behind why he's picking what he's picking. And we say this all the time, and I cannot stress this enough here to you guys. Let me be very specific about this. There are, on social media, there's a lot of shit out there, okay? I don't know how else to put it. I'm being blunt here. Everyone seems to be a professional handicapper on Twitter. Have you guys noticed this? Everybody seems to be just a true professional, and for $89.99 and for $187 and for $300, and all of these people do is they post their picks on Twitter. Actually, I'm sorry, all they do is post the day after the winners that they supposedly had. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. They don't tell you why they picked what they picked. They don't, and they certainly never tell you about the losers. You've got to navigate through a lot of that shit that's going on social media right now. And I can guarantee you and promise you that here on the Joe Raineri Show, if I bring on a handicapper to talk to you, I can promise you there is a method behind the madness. You will never see me bring somebody here that's just going to give you a pick, take your money, and never give you a reason behind it. All right? That's the whole point of it. You need to have the knowledge in order to get better at this. Nobody is winning at 98%, unlike what a lot of people are telling you on Twitter. okay? The guys that I'm going to bring on are vetted. They have been doing it forever, and I promise you, these are guys that you can trust. Guys like Jersey Kid Picks, okay? Been doing it forever, has a loyal following forever. These guys will tell you, okay? I'm only bringing Ralph Michaels and the Prez and Kelly Stewart, you know, Kelly in Vegas, the guys at WagerTalk.com. These are the pros, and these are the only kinds of people that you will ever see on this show giving you sports betting advice. And trust me, I get approached by a lot of people that would love to come on and promote them and say, hey, you know, try their system. There's a lot of people that we have turned down here because of the fact that they can't be trusted. So I want you to know that when I bring a Ralph Michaels on, or if I bring a Jersey Kid Picks on, or if I bring a Moneymaker Man on, or Rain Man, if I bring these guys on, I'm bringing them on because I myself have spent money with these guys. I trust these guys, and I know people who have used them over the years. So don't ever worry about it. Consider this to be a place that you can come and know that you're getting solid, professional sports betting advice from only the pros. From only the pros. Ralph Michaels has been doing it 40 years. I trust this guy with everything that I have, and I'm telling you, for $2, go get his 4 picks tonight, all right? Do yourself a favor. It'll be the easiest money you make all damn week. Go to WagerTalk.com. Search out Cal Sports, Ralph Michaels. For $2, he's the $2 handicapper today. Go get it. Go get his 4 picks, okay? Head over to uwager.eu. Open up the account. The link is down below. Open up your account and go make some damn money. It's that simple. All right? It's that simple. Don't say I didn't tell you so. And we are loaded, too, for the rest of the week. Don't forget, Ralph joins us on Thursday. He'll be back. We'll be talking college football, NFL. Tomorrow, we are loaded on the show, right? We got Russell Baxter coming in, fan-sided, that crazy son of a bitch. Russell Baxter will be joining us. What a great... You want to talk about a fun football conversation. Tomorrow, you're definitely going to want to hear what Russell Baxter has to say with the latest NFL headlines. Also, and let me make sure that we've got our if we've got our schedule correct here. Let me make sure. I do believe that Money Pick Matt will also be on tomorrow at Money Pick Matt. If you guys haven't seen him, if you haven't visited him, check him out on Twitter at Money Pick Matt. He'll be joining us too. We'll be getting his thoughts on the Thursday night games as well as some of the college basketball games. And again, the people I'm bringing on here are the people that you can trust. I would never, ever, ever put somebody on here that I myself would not use and would not spend and invest with. All right, so you guys understand that. Also, Travis Wingfield, Miami Dolphins reporter extraordinaire. What is going on with the Dolphins? The infighting is getting... They beat the Jets, and there's been nothing but drama here in South Florida ever since they beat them. It's absolutely crazy. Travis Wingfield is going to try to separate the reality of the situation from what I'm like. What do you guys, when you hear the Miami Dolphins, what is it that you guys hear? What do you think about the Miami Dolphins? You think, wow, they beat the Jets. You know, things are good. They got 5 wins. They're 5-3. They should be yeah, no. Here in South Florida, it is a nightmare what's going on with the Miami Dolphins. We got a safety to quit. We got, well, people think quit, but that really wasn't the story. Thank goodness we've got Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat to keep our focus on. To keep our eye on the ball here. And thank God we got college basketball coming up too. So a lot of fun. Want to thank you guys for stopping by here. Loaded again tomorrow. Don't forget Ralph, Jersey Kid Picks, will be joining us again at the end of the week, getting ready for some college football on Saturday. So much going on. And if you guys, we ask that you please, you like what you see here, subscribe, like, retweet, share it with your friends. If you know other guys that like sports betting or interested in sports talk, send them our way. All right, we would certainly appreciate it. And we want you guys to make money because that is ultimately what it's all about, making some cash. Also, we've got a very special segment coming your way at the, I believe this week, are we doing it? Saturday? Yeah, our handicapping legend there, the horse master, the horse whisperer, Benny the Boot last week, who, by the way, nailed the the Breeders' Cup Classic, okay? Had Gunnevera in all the exotics. He actually picked he had the triple and the exacta, and he made a number of you a lot of money, like a ton of money. So much so that you guys have reached out and go, will he come back on? Will he do more of that? And the answer is yes. I've got him to agree to come on the show, and he is going to do a once-a-week segment with us on Friday where he is going to give you his pick of the day of the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. He's going to give us some picks and share them with you. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't get any better than that. The amount of money, I mean, Pizza Mike, I'm sure Pizza Mike's hanging out with us here somewhere, or he's actually taking a vacation with the amount of money that he made by taking Benny the Boot's advice there. Congratulations, Pizza Mike. I know he treated the family really well over the weekend, as well as he should. But yes, Benny the Boot will be joining us here for a segment on Saturday and Sunday. He'll be providing you his 2 races of the weekend, his 2 locks of the weekend. That's coming your way also. So we are loaded, and the whole point of this show is to try and entertain / inform / make you money and be a place that you can come and you can trust where the information is coming from. And like I told you, there is no better information than where you can go at wagertalk.com. Free information. And today, Ralph Michaels, the $2 handicapper. Get your ass over to wagertalk.com, you cheap sons of bitch. I know you got $2. Go get it. 4 picks, his plays tonight. You're going to love them. Go to wagertalk.com and get yourself all set up. Sparky and Peter and who else we got? Paul, Doug, the rest of you guys, Kentucky. We love you guys. Thank you very much for making us a part of your day. Again, we're sorry about the audio in the very beginning of this. We ask that you just go ahead and fast forward till about 5 or 6 minutes in. You'll get all of Ralph's picks for tonight's game, and the audio will clear itself up. And the engineer, unfortunately, is stuck still at the voting booth trying to get his vote on. So we forgive him, but somebody hit the right button, and eventually the audio cleared up. But we appreciate your time, guys. We love that you came by here, hung out with us. Come back again tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Told you. We are loaded again tomorrow. All sorts of great, entertaining, informative, fun stuff coming your way, including, can I say this, by the way? Can I? No? Can I tell people what's going needless to say, next week we're going to have a very special guest on the show that's going to come in and do a segment of Who You Got with us. And well, her first name is Bonnie. I'll just say Bonnie, and I can't give you the last name, but you know her. Trust me, you know her. She's going to drop by the show next week as well. So fun stuff going on here. Subscribe, like, come back, and join us tomorrow, 4 o'clock. We stream live on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, across all the platforms. We love you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the games. Get over to wagertalk.com. $2, all right? Get Ralph's college basketball. $2 picks. He's going to give you 4 games and then come back and join us tomorrow. 4 o'clock, we do it all over again. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. Not weekend. Have a great week. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Go out and vote. No on 3.